time's come to load my gear for another hiking adventure. Tomorrow, my brother Rick will join me, and we'll drive away. This is where my passion for hiking was born. Rick had taken me on an Appalachian Trail section hike the year before, but Wyoming was a land of its own. Nothing like I had ever experienced before. I'm excited to see it again, but I'm anxious too. I reflect on the ancient words of Heraclitus, who said, "No man ever steps in the same river twice, for it's not the same river, and he's not the same man." Can we ever go back to where we've been? Will this place be as enchanting as when we first walked its trails? There's no other way to find out. Let's go together to the rugged beauties of the Wind River Range.
Is our back for tonight?
Good morning. We are here at the Big Sandy Trailhead, ready to start this journey. We're going to be hiking what I call the CDT, Wakassee Creek, Texas Pass, Jackass Pass, Big Sandy Lake Loop. We were here 2 years ago, and we hiked the same trail. So come on, let's go walking. As we walked, I realized that we were ascending. No longer distracted by the fallen trees, I became conscious of the physical demands of the trail. Went up the approach trail still, come out of the wooded area, see these peaks. If you come up this way, the road to get here is rough, and for the last about 20 miles you're on dirt road, and that's not bad until the last about 8 miles, and then it's really rough. But if you go slow, pick your route through the ruts and the rocks, you'll be fine. And it's well worth it. Mist coming up off the field. It's about 37 degrees. And this is August. I think our elevation right now is around 9,000, and we'll be going up close to 10,000 today. Eventually, we would ascend through Texas Pass at the 11,500 feet mark, but that was still a day away. It's pretty out here. The first day was an 11-mile trek that included a small piece of the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT, before turning alongside the Wasake Creek to Shadow Lake. Here we are at the juncture, Continental Divide Trail, Big Sandy Trail. We're going to head up the Continental Divide Trail. The trail is never the same twice. Last time we were coming through this section, there had been a windstorm a couple of weeks before we got here. And the blowdowns through here were so thick that Rick and I both had to low crawl for
three-quarters of a mile to get under the blowdowns. It was so broad across the trail that there was no way to get around it. So high, couldn't get over it. So we crawled under. This is sort of the epicenter of where all of the blowdown was. I think we were crawling through this part probably. It's hard to know, but you can see the remnants of it and the amount of work that went in to clear it. You can still see some of the remnants. Maintenance crews had worked so hard to clear this. Sure do appreciate their effort. The altitude does make it a little challenging on the lungs.
We were at about 9,000 feet above sea level. The air was thinner than either of us were accustomed to, but we had a lot of elevation ahead of us. Step out of the wooded forest and then you step into this meadow. We're at 9,950 feet. This is Mirror Lake. So clear. So beautiful. First day was an 11-mile trek that included a small piece of the Continental Divide Trail, the CDT, before turning alongside the Wasake Creek to Shadow Lake. And this would be our tent site at the end of day one. Shadow Lake was beautiful. Its pristine waters are so very clear. A feeder stream offered wonderful tasting water for resupply. Tempted to just drink from the flowing stream, I filtered the cold water and prepared for dinner. We were not alone here. There was a group of guys tenting beside us. Good folks, but they talked well into the night. Other hikers swam in the lake, though I don't know how they could take the cold water. Again, the views were familiar, but the trail was very different. More like my experience hiking through the Smoky Mountains last year than the solitude of the winds 2 years ago. In the night, the rains came, but I don't really remember that at all. I closed my eyes and I was fast asleep.